Thanks to a number of well-preserved frozen carcasses in Siberia, the woolly mammoth is the best known of all mammoth species. These massive animals died out around 7,500 years ago, after the end of the Ice Age, while climate change definitely played a significant role in their extinction. Recent studies suggest that humans may have also been a driving force in their demise, or at least the final cause. Extensive hunting and the stress of a warming climate change are a lethal combination, and it seems even the mighty mammoth could not withstand the human appetite in a changing world.
The great oak was a flightless seabird that bred in colonies on Rocky Island in the North Atlantic, namely St. Kilda, the Faroe Island, and Punk Island of Newfoundland. The bird were approximately 75 cm and 30 inches long and had short wings which were used for underwater swimming. Utterly defenseless, great oak were killed by rapacious hunter for food and bait. Particularly during the early 18th century, enormous numbers were captured by sailors who often drove the bird up plank and slaughtered. Then on their way into the hold of a vessel, the last known specimen were killed in June 1844 at LD Island, Iceland, for a museum collection.
Steeler sea cow. Discovered in 1741 by German naturalist George Steeler. Steeler sea cows once inhabited the lower shore areas of the Commander Islands in the Bering Sea, much larger than present-day manatees and dugongs. Steeler sea cows reach a length of 9 to 10 meters, over 30 feet, and weigh around 10 metric tons, 22,000 pounds. These massive, docile animals floated at the surface of the coastal waters, but unfortunately had little ability to submerge. This made them easy targets for the harpoons of Russian seal hunters, who prized them as a source of meat on long sea journeys. Killing was often wasteful, and the species was exterminated by 1768, less than 30 years after it was first discovered. No preserved specimens exist today. Dodo. Dead as a dodo. Yep. These flightless ground-nesting birds were once bountiful on the island of Mauritius in the Aegean Ocean. Larger than tortoises, dodos weighed about 23 kilograms, about 50 pounds, and had blue-gray plumage and a large head, with no natural predators. The birds were unfazed by the Portuguese sailors that discovered them around 1507. This and subsequent sailors quickly decimated the dodo populations as an easy source of fresh meat for their voyages. The later introduction of monkeys, pigs, and rats to the island proved catastrophic to the languishing birds, as the mammals feasted on their vulnerable eggs. The last dodo was killed in 1681. Sadly, very few scientific descriptions or museum specimens exist. Passenger penguin. Once famed for its massive migratory flocks that would darken the sky for days, the passenger penguin was hunted to extinction in the early 90s. Billions of these gregarious birds once inhabited eastern North America and were similar in appearance to the mourning dove. As American settlers pressed westward, passenger penguins were slaughtered by the million yearly for their meat, and shipped by railway carloads for sale in city markets. Hunters often raided their missing grounds and annihilated entire colonies in a single breeding season. From 1870, the decline of the species became precipitous and some unsuccessfully attempts were made to breed the birds in captivity. The last known passenger penguin named Martha died on September 1, 1914 in the Cincinnati Zoo in Ohio.
Sigillaria is the one of the most common types of plants from which fossil fuels are made, looking like Joshua trees or something from Dr. Sewell's book. Sigillaria flourished during the Carboniferous or coal-bearing period of 300 to 660 million years ago. The tree-like plants rose above the floor of peat, forming swamps reproducing by spores contained in the cones at the end of their branches. The fossils have uncovered during coal mining operation all across the world from western Pennsylvania to Inner Mongolia. Linia alatamaha has been extinct in the wild since the early 19th century and the only exists the cultivation, a native of the southeastern United States. It was first known to non-native Americans when it was identified in 1765. Named after Benjamin Franklin, the tree only survived him by 13 years, having last been seen in the wild in the 1803, already rare in the late 18th century. The reason for its extinction are not known. Today, cultivated specimens only exist because the tree was lucky enough to have flowers that please the human eye.
Tree hugger. The Toromiro tree, Sophora toromiro, was once endemic to Easter Island, Rapa Nui, but despite efforts to cultivate it from seeds collected into the 1960s, the tree has since been declared extinct in the wild. The origins and meaning of Easter Island's famous monumental status remain mysterious, but so too do the reason for the island's deforestation. A combination of over-harvesting, climatic changes, and cultural developments seem to be intertwined reasons for the collapse of a once sustainable society. Whatever the reason and whatever the pace of change, the hunting season of Easter Island remains the same.
Tuberculosis bacterium, microorganism, Microbacterium, tuberculosis, Coccobacillus, disease tuberculosis, date of control 1974, estimate date of eradication 2050. Leprosy bacterium, microorganism Hansen's bacillus, disease leprosy, estimate date of eradication 2010, could possibly be later as we have still not succeeded in cultivating the pathogenic agent, an essential step towards developing a vaccine. Smallpox virus, microorganism smallpox virus, orthopox virus, disease smallpox, date of eradication, declare eradicate. In 1978, virus conserved in certain laboratories.
Estimate date of destruction of the last samples to 1999 to 2002.